Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded, where we cover all of the weekly top sports stories going on in the world today. I am your host, Eric, main man right over there. Ron, how are you tonight?
I am ready to go. There's so much to talk about. I'm ready to burst. That's how excited I am.
It's been a fun week in the sports
Well, fun,
world.
I don't know.
Come on. It's always fun. I want to thank everybody that joins us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Please join the chat if you are live and let us know what you think. If there's any topics that you want to talk about or things that we're talking about, and maybe you have your own opinion, let us know as well. I want to thank everybody in Dallas, Georgia, WDJY 99.1 FM every Saturday between 1 and 3. You guys have been remarkable. And SEC TV, Public Access, Channel 12 here in Southeast Connecticut, on every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. If you're on the radio or TV afterwards and like what you see, come join us every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live and we are fan interactive. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. A new segment we've added as well, so that should be fun, where it's fan vote. So it'll be kind of cool there as well. But Ron, I guess it's time to kick it off. I think, James, thanks for joining us live. It is World Series time, the Yankees versus the Dodgers. That series starts tonight at 8 p.m. Ron, with this series kicking off, I guess, what are you looking for? What do you think could happen, may happen, should happen in this series?
Well, I'd like it to go 7 games.
I think everybody would, right?
And I'd like Game 7 to end in a tie somehow.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think that'll happen, but okay.
Mostly because, I'm not a fan of either team. Obviously, I hate the Yankees. But I also hate how the Dodgers got there. With the BS that they pulled with Ohtani's contract. That whole thing stinks.
Agreed. I do agree, my
friend. Hey, look, I am not saying I don't like Ohtani, but I don't like how it was done. And, I love Mookie Betts as a player as well, but, I just don't like how the Dodgers got there. And I hate the Yankees, so I don't really want either of them to win.
I think, listen, Major League Baseball, this is the best of.
Oh, this is the best that you could get, right?
This is what they wanted. The highest two.
Yeah.
Kenny, thanks for joining as well. The best 2 markets in Major League Baseball in New York and LA. So they got what they wanted. I think what the fans want to see is the star power with Shohei Ohtani, with Mookie Betts, even Max Muncy. I mean, he's been tearing it up in the postseason. But then on the other side, Judge, Stanton, Soto, right? You think about the bats, right? And then, you talk about the pitching staff, right? And New York, a little stronger on the pitching side of it because of Cole in the Dodgers' injuries when it comes to starting pitching.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. These teams have met, Ron, believe it or not, 11 times in the World Series. Currently, the Yankees.
That many? Wow.
A lot in the 40s, 50s, back when those teams are really dominant. But 8-3 right now in favor of New York. So that should be interesting to see. We did put up a Facebook poll this week, and 75% of the voters picked the Yankees to win out of 32 votes. So a good amount of people think New York.
I do too.
Really?
And
I'm going Dodgers.
I'm not.
And I think the pressure's on LA so much with that Shohei Ohtani thing. And they've already said he's not pitching. It's a guarantee he's not pitching, which
Yeah, there's no way he can be ready to pitch in this. There's no way. He hasn't pitched all year
yeah,
long. There's no way
hasn't
he could
pitched
go
what,
on
in
the
2
mound.
years, realistically, when he
This
got
is
the
true.
injury. And
Yep.
so that'll be interesting. Starting rotation for New York, a little bit better than LA's. Bullpens, both kind of okay. Dodgers have been on a tear, though, averaging, 6.8 runs per game in the postseason. That scares me as a Yankee fan. You have to put up runs because they're
Yeah.
gonna hit.
Look, it's the two big boys, right? In the playground. This is what it is, and they're gonna slug it out. And it's going, everybody always thinks it's the star players that rise to. It's always that role player that has the big play in a game. And I don't want to bring it up, but I feel the need. It wasn't so much as David Ortiz bringing home the runs as it was Roberts that stole the base, right?
Well, I even say 2003, since you don't want to bring things up. When Aaron Boone hit that home run,
Aaron
who
Boone.
was Aaron Boone? Realistically,
Right.
he was an average player. Yeah, usually in these big moments, it's the guys you
back
don't.
in the day, Bucky Dent.
Yeah,
way back, right? I mean, it's the same thing. It's always these role players that come up and do something that is pivotal in the series, and it's going to be no different here. Yes, if Mookie Betts, Judge, or Shohei or Soto, if one of those guys do it, they're expected to, right? But most of the time, that turning point is by one role player doing something, and it could be something minor in that moment, but it turns out to be a major piece of the series.
the fans that are joining us live, chime in on the chat. Let us know who you think's going to win the series. Just curious. And then I will say this, Ron. I think I agree with you in one aspect. It's going to be one of these role player or type. It's going to probably be one of these pitches from either side. Who's the guy? Like Flaherty tonight versus Cole, right? When everybody expects Cole to dominate that matchup, right? He's by far the better pitcher. If Flaherty comes out and holds the Yankees to, 5-6 hits and no runs, then you start to look at it and say, well, that might be the guy. The bullpen comes in and the bullpen shuts down these power hitters and doesn't allow them to score runs. Now you're starting to look at the pitching staff. I think that's going to be more crucial in this series than anything else. We expect everybody to hit.
It could be somebody in one of those bullpens that comes out and say game 2 and just shuts it down for a couple of innings. And then that might be the spark they need. Look at what the heck's his name from the Sox from a couple of years ago. The one that pitched like the 4 innings and extra innings. I can't even think of his name. He went to Texas. Holy crap. Anyway, he comes out. They lose the game, but he saved the bullpen for the next couple of days, and that's what won the series for them.
So it'll be interesting.
You never know.
It'll be very interesting. Listen, Major League Baseball right now doing cartwheels. So
God, they're taking this all the way to the bank right now.
They are gonna I didn't even check like the average tickets, but they said it was gonna break records. And
there was no Texas Rangers going to be making it this year.
This is the first time a Texas team hasn't made it since 18. 6 years it's been since a Texas team hasn't been in. That's kind of crazy to think about.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was an interesting stat. Interesting stat there. So again, you're going Yankees, I'm going Dodgers. Fans out there, if you're listening, who are you going for? Who are you rooting for in the World Series? Maybe not even rooting for. Who do you think is going to win? Because obviously these teams are either loved or hated.
Wait, did you just say I was going for the Yankees?
You said you picked the Yankees to win the series.
Well, yeah. You picked the Dodgers?
I'm picking the Dodgers.
Damn. How's that role reversal? Because I'm using psychology. I want the Yankees to win so that I know they'll lose.
And I want the Dodgers to win because then I feel like. Listen, it's all superstition at this point. I started to tick when someone says Aaron Boone. I hear you, buddy. Bleeping Boone. That home run. But then you got us back the following year. So look at it that way, too. I mean, and that one was worse than what Aaron Boone did, to me. You go up 3-0.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the first time in history, and it still hasn't been done since.
Yeah.
So,
And I still bring it up at least a couple of times
yeah.
every year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You
At
make sure
least
you
a
bring it up.
couple.
I will
I've
say
already
we're
brought
gonna,
it up 2 times this month.
we are gonna talk some more Major League Baseball later on in the show. And Ron, one of my split decisions just might have a little World Series flavor to it.
Oh,
so.
I can't wait for my split decision.
Oh, all right. But we're going to talk some National Football League and, a big trade here. DeAndre Hopkins now
Did
a
I
member
not
of
say this last week?
the bloody sock. Kenny, the bloody sock. DeAndre Hopkins now is a Kansas City
I told
Chief.
you.
Do you think this makes the Chiefs unstoppable?
Does the league want this team to win? I think it does.
I mean, they've already paid off the refs.
I think it wants this team to win so bad, the NFL actually made this trade happen. That's how much I think they want Kansas City to win this.
Kansas City does have a lot of injuries at the wide receiver position. So that's kind of Rashee Rice with the
for all we know, Hopkins can go in week 1, tear an ACL.
Yeah, listen, wide receiver, the league.
Not that,
it was pretty ugly for wide receivers last week. A lot of wide receivers went down. So I looked at it this way, Ron. Kansas City right now, 10th in yards per game in the NFL, 13th in passing yards. Obviously, now they get an upgrade. Hopkins gives them a true number 1 wide receiver because right now their leading receiver, Xavier Worthy, 15 receptions, 198 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kelsey obviously leads the team in receptions with 28. Hopkins, think about this, is tied for the same amount of receptions as the Worthy. And you think about his quarterbacks, Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. I think Patrick Mahomes throwing a DeAndre Hopkins is a slight upgrade.
Now all Tennessee needs is Santa as a head coach, because then it would be, because it almost sounds like, they have reindeer as quarterbacks.
Rudolph.
Rudolph, Levis.
Boy.
Sounds reindeer.
We'll give you one. Not very good. But I will say, if he can kind of grasp the offense and they can work together, this is a very good combination. I mean, obviously Hopkins getting up there in age. He's not the same wide receiver he was 5-6 years ago, but he's still a solid top of the line wide receiver.
He's going to make a catch. He's not a player that drops a lot, is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you throw it to him, he still has the ability to get position over a defender and make the play. And that's what they really need. They need a guy that is going to make some defenses cringe a little.
And I will say, who benefits the most from this? Worthy. Because realistically now he's going
to be wide open.
Yeah, he can run those fly routes, which he's one of the fastest players in the league. And he's probably running routes right now that he wouldn't normally run based on the fact they didn't have guys. Yeah. Now you pick up a guy in Hopkins that can run those routes and now give Worthy an opportunity to just, light it over the top. I mean, this is again, the question was, though, does it make him unstoppable? Is this a three-peat now pretty much guaranteed?
It really points the arrow in their direction.
All day today. Is this where we're going to...
Come on, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That was really good.
It makes them the front runner again, right? I think it really does make this team the front runner in that conference.
Number 1 team on the Sports Unfolded NFL power rankings this week. This only helps solidify them.
Rightfully so.
Right? The only undefeated team left.
They were struggling. And they're perfect.
Yeah, they still haven't played the best football. And the key of that defense is it's so improved. Year over year, you've seen the defense get better and kind of catch up with the offense. This helps the offense take a leap that it needed. I am shocked that it happened. Andy Reid right now? Absolutely.
It's not even close, is it?
Not even close. There's not another coach out there that I would even consider.
No.
So, Ron, there are some games also happening on week 8 that maybe you're interested in. You want to tell people what that may be?
I would love to do that, but you know what Ron forgot to do?
What did Ron forget to do?
Ron forgot to look at the schedule.
Oh
But
my goodness, Ron.
I know off the top of my head, there's one game I really have to see. And we all know what that game is. It is the battle for the bottom of the AFC East.
You watching the Jets, Pats? You that
I am
interested?
definitely watching that. Why wouldn't I want to watch that?
I'm really. You start to look at Gerard Mayo's job's in jeopardy already.
Oh, it absolutely is, and it should be.
That team is in complete disarray in New England, and it's only going to
That's
get worse.
The whole talk. The fact that Drake May has thrown over 500 yards and 5 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks. Nobody's even talking about it because the team's so damn soft.
Ron, I don't know if you know this. There was one other quarterback in NFL history that started his first 2 games throwing for over 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Do you know who that was?
Was that Tom?
It was not.
It was not Tom?
No. It was that quarterback who is a Hall of Famer but never won a Super Bowl.
Dan
Marino. He's putting up Dan Marino numbers after 2 weeks.
That's pretty
But again, nobody's going to talk about it. Yeah, game of interest. I could see why. I have a very big game of interest. Cardinals at Dolphins. People are like, why?
Oh, come on.
Tua is back. What are we going to see? Like, are you kidding right now? I didn't think we'd see this.
What are we going to see? I can tell you what we're going to see. We're going to see a guy that is clearly not ready to come back.
Isn't it insane to think about that 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, we were talking about this as him not even coming back to the NFL. Here he is coming back. I just don't understand it. Listen, he says he's grateful people care and thank. It's not even, I don't think anybody wants to see the end result on the field of what might happen.
I would not be surprised if he gets popped again and he's out again. It's only going to be worse this time. The next time could be the last time. And that's how his whole career is going to be from now on.
Yeah.
To however long that is, it could end this week.
Like last year, he didn't get hurt. But the year before, right, it was a consistent issue. You've already seen it again this year. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. But that was one of my interests. And it's all more because I want to really see,
how he does.
How he does, Yeah. And is he a little skittish? Is he not wanting to take a hit?
Isn't Dallas at San Francisco this week?
That is the other one. I had one of that as well. I had 4 games. Dallas, San Francisco is the other one. Whichever team loses that game, Ron, is pretty much putting themselves in a very bad situation for the rest of the season.
These teams just don't even look the same. They don't even look the same.
No.
Dallas, Dan Quinn made that team.
The defenses, you can see it completely
quite
different.
Clear how much of an impact Dan Quinn had on Dallas.
100%. And then you look on the other side, look at San Francisco with the injuries, right? Debo's sick. They lost Ayuk for the year.
And I don't have the thing ready. The Ayuk thing isn't there.
So that's a game. And you think about it, we always used to see Cowboys 49ers. You put that on the schedule. It was like the biggest thing that
now it's who's going to survive in this race.
Exactly, right? It's amazing how far we've come. I also had Falcons at Bucks because I think one of these teams needs to take a chance now to kind of separate themselves. And this is their opportunity. But Bucks, big injury there as well at the wide receiver position.
Well, they had 2 of them. What's the situation?
Evans is out now. Yeah, Mike Evans is out. And then Chris Godwin is done for the year.
Ugly.
Yep, done for the year.
You see his leg just
the foot was just, Yep.
That was hideous.
The funny thing is, though, you see those injuries nowadays, and they're not as bad. You were like, career threatening. I thought Hutchinson from Detroit, they're saying if they get to the Super Bowl, he can play. He will be able to play in the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
And that like snapped. Oh, like it looked like you could have basically they said he could play in the Super Bowl if they make
Well,
it.
they probably put like, some metal
crazy
piping
glue,
in his
crazy
leg.
glue, crazy glue. I don't know. Enough shots.
Like the titanium thing that Lieutenant Dan had. They probably put that thing in there
Right,
and then just wrapped his skin around it.
Right. So he's possibly coming back for the Super Bowl. And then the last one I had, Bills
That's tough. That's a tough guy.
Yeah. Bills at Seahawks.
Yes, I have that one as well. Look, this is what I want the Bills to step up. I really do. I need somebody in the AFC that can knock Mahomes off. And I'm really looking for the Bills to play as hard as they did against the Jets and then some. With better results because he has somebody to throw the ball to. I'm hoping for the best because, first of all, I like Josh Allen.
And he likes you,
like
Ron.
That's what he's like a throwback to the old school.
Yeah.
Even though he runs the ball,
he's an
well.
Elway type, like that kind of gunslinger.
Yeah,
but had the mobility, right?
Yeah,
and he's not cocky. Like you don't really, right?
He just wants to win.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but to me, his actions on the field kind of remind me of Tom-esque.
Bro, stop.
Just his actions because he wants to win.
I think you're.
And
I don't know.
I'm
Whatever's in your milk, chocolate milk. I think we need to test that because there's clearly I got Tom-esque. Come on.
I'm not saying he's Tom. I'm just saying he has that drive to win a game. You know,
Mahomes
what I'm saying?
has. If you're going to tell me who's got Tom-esque, it's
Mahomes.
Mahomes finds a way to win.
Knew that.
Yeah, he finds ways to win. That team every year we go, okay, they can't get and they get better. I don't know. He loses guys, they come back. No wide receivers, don't matter. Great NFL talk, Ron. Did you have one more game before we move on?
I don't think so. I think that's about it.
All right, great NFL talk.
Titans, Lions,
appreciate
or the Giants, Steelers.
Oh, Monday night game. I will say this: it's going to be a fun week because a lot of things can change in this week depending on who wins some of these games. We are going to now start our new segment here. If you have the chance, watch the NBA preview show with Ron and Kenny. They brought this on there, so we said, let's bring the Sports Unfolded. We like it. We do have a little bit of a twist, though, to it. And our twist is this. You, the fans that are out there live, are going to have to vote so that we know what our percentage is, because the segment is called free throws. So what's our free throw percentage at the end of each segment? Basically, we're going to give each other 4 teams, and we gotta see if the fans agree with the player we pick for that team. And the segment is now top performers in the postseason for these NBA teams in history. In their history of the team, who would you consider their best player in the postseason all time? And we get 4. See if we can get to 100% free throws, baby. I got that wrist action going. All right, Ron. So I am first this week. I will start you off at 4. The team is the Indiana Pacers.
Well, they haven't won a championship, so
I've not.
And I knew you were going to throw this at me. I have to go with Reggie. I have to go with Reggie Miller. I mean, it's just a shame he never won a championship, but there was some other guys that stood in his way. I know there was this guy, Mike, a Larry, maybe,
I don't know who those guys are.
I don't know. There was a couple of guys that stood in his way, but Reggie Miller was he's such a great shooter, and he wants the ball. He can take that shot. Now, with that being said, not winning a championship kind of makes it difficult and puts a little stain on that.
Still the best
But
in their history.
still the
In your
best in
mind.
their history by no means.
So if anybody's out there live, did Ron make that free throw? Was Reggie Miller the best player in Indiana Pacers postseason history?
Postseason history.
Not regular season, postseason.
Postseason.
All right. So if you're out there, let us know. Join the chat. Just let us know so we can know. Kenny says yes. So you're at 100%. So we'll give you All right, Ron, my first free throw.
All right, see, now we're not going to duplicate teams, right?
We'll try not to. I hope not. I wrote my four down, but we shouldn't.
I don't think we should.
Okay, so if you say one of mine, I'll change it.
All right, I'm going to give you Philadelphia 76ers.
Ooh. Could go Barkley.
Right now, all my fans are like this.
Could go. Well, I think I'd have to go Dr. J. Dr. J. It wasn't the behind the backboard, that whole play. It was in the postseason. And Dr. J won one in Philadelphia.
Yes, he did.
Charles did not. Embiid too early, not enough. So I'm going Dr. J. Dr. J to me would be Philadelphia 76ers. So fans out there, did I make my free throw? Is Dr. J the best postseason NBA player for the Philadelphia 76ers?
Come on. I know there's a bunch of you watching right now. Come on, get up there and type in yes or no.
Kenny says yes. We're both
I think he's wrong, but
we're both at 100%. Okay. All right.
Yours
Ron.
was a little lifty. It went around the rim.
Okay.
Because
it went in. It counts.
It did go in.
All right.
But Moses Malone led the team in that championship season with 26 points per game.
I get it, but the J, Doctor, baby.
But I love Dr. J.
Underneath. All right. Your second free throw, Ron, is the Phoenix Suns.
That's a tough one. Because I know Sir Charles was there but couldn't win anything because of, two teams, really. Maybe three, if you want to throw Houston in that. Utah and Chicago. I don't really know the old history too well.
What they had back in the old days. Kevin Johnson, Tom Chambers.
I like Kevin Johnson, to be honest with you. Right? He's the guy that brought it all up and facilitated. He was a point guard, like a point guard was intended on. And Charles Barkley wasn't going to be able to bring it up by himself.
He did, though. He was like that point forward. I don't know. This is a tough one.
It is a tough one because, it's Phoenix. Like, they don't have a lot of success in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Kevin Johnson. It might be one of those that is banked off the backboard and in.
Oh, Thunder Dan. You forgot Thunder Dan
was
Marley.
Their most effective player in the playoffs.
What about Thunder Dan Marley? But all right, fans out there, did Ron make his free throw? Come on. Let's go, fans. Let's see. Did Ron?
Kenny's thinking about it. He's trying to go back and find out all about their team. But I think Kevin Johnson still did his job and did it pretty damn well. Right.
And believe it or not, Ron, we forgot Steve Nash. But the all-time leader in points, he's giving it to you.
He's giving it to
you. All-time points.
It's a little iffy, right?
All-time in points, and it's not even close. Kevin Johnson in the postseason. Kevin Johnson has 2,000 points.
I told you.
Next closest is Steve Nash with 13. Not even close. 700 more points than Steve Nash in Phoenix history. So good one.
Yeah.
Good one. All right. My second free throw. What do you got?
All right. All right. Let's, Phoenix, little suspect in the playoffs, right? San Antonio's been there in a lot of them, right?
Yep.
How about the San Antonio Spurs, Eric? Like, there's an obvious two glaring at you, but I'm not so sure that's obvious.
Because you could go Robert Horry, because he was big game Horry in the postseason.
Tony Parker.
Tony Parker. Weesh. I'm gonna too easy. I'm still gonna go Duncan. I still think without Duncan, they don't even get there. To me, Duncan would have been there.
No David Robinson? He's the one that started it.
Yeah,
all.
but then Duncan kind of carried them through for another 4 or 5 titles. So I'm going there, but let me see.
He's already given it to you. It's an easy one. I
Gave
gave you a layup at the free throw line.
So we're both at 100% still.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna see something though. So who do you think's their all-time leading scorer?
In the playoffs?
Yeah.
I think it's David Robinson.
Oh, I can't get it to the other one. Postseason.
I just feel like Robinson played longer.
Yeah, I don't. They didn't win as much with him.
They got 2.
Playoff record.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, that's just the team record. Forget it. All right. Your third, Iceman. Ooh, Gervin. Good call, Kenny. Could have been Gervin too.
So that's right. It wasn't so clear cut. We forgot about him.
Yeah.
All right. So what's number 3?
Your third one. Little bit of success in the postseason. Houston Rockets.
I don't care who leads in points because I already know who leads in points, and he doesn't do it. I'm sorry. He's not the GOAT. No Harden. It is definitely the dream. Hakeem Olajuwon. That man is one of the top. I think he's top 10. Top 10.
Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon. That's not even. I mean, the man just did everything for that team. He did everything.
Yeah,
he got them He got them to the championship and won it.
Although Moses Malone, you forget, played for the Rockets too.
Yeah, but not like that.
It's not even close. By the way, total points was Hakeem 37, 27, Harden at 24-16. So at 1,300 points more. But Kenny, I guess Kenny's the only one out there right now. But if you are a fan, did Ron make his free throw? He's not the only
one. There's a bunch of people watching.
Did Ron make his free throw?
Absolutely. I mean, come on.
Yes. All right. So right now, 3 for 3, Ron. All right. My free throw.
Ooh. Oh, I got to give you a team.
Yeah, that would help.
All right. I gave you a layup last time. We're not going to give you a layup this time.
Okay.
Atlanta Hawks. Would they win one championship?
Again, you're doing the same thing. They got the big man, but it's got to be Neek. It's got to be Dominique. If it wasn't for Dominique in the 80s, that team, forget it.
When did they win one, though?
They didn't. They didn't.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think they did. Has Atlanta won one?
It says that Atlanta has won one championship.
They may have, then. I don't know.
Well.
But I'm going Dominique.
So All right, so Dominique, but why?
Although Bob Pettit led their team in scoring, and it wasn't even close. Jeez, who the hell is Cliff Hagan?
That's not good. If that's the case,
Oh, but then the
Bob
St.
Pettit
Louis
is
Hawks.
better.
St. Louis Hawks, though. Atlanta, you said ABA days. That's it. Bob Pettit. I'm going Neek. I'm going Neek in the NBA days. Did I make the free throw? Dominique, best postseason player for the Atlanta Hawks.
Danny Manning?
No way. Yes. We're both at 100%. I like Kenny. Kenny's all right. Kenny is our NBA guy.
All right.
And he knows it. So we got one more, Ron, to get to 100%. We'll be 100% for our free throws this week. The New York Knicks.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Damn. Oh man, all I can think of right now is really I can't even think of his name. Patrick Ewing.
I'll give it throw some name. Walt Frazier, Willis Reed, John Starks, Charles Oakley. I mean, there's been some good ones. Carmelo's not even, believe it or not, in the top 10 for scorers.
No, I wouldn't expect that because he's not.
I don't think they made
the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think they made
I have to say, did New York win? Did New York won some, right?
One, I think, back in the Willis Reed, maybe.
Yeah.
Frazier.
I was gonna say that, but I like 70s. Walt Frazier.
Charlie won. Walt Frazier, going with Walt Frazier.
I'm going with Walt Frazier. I don't know if he won the championship.
Did Ron?
I think he got. I thought he had two, didn't he?
No, they only won one, I believe.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Kenny, Charlie Ward.
Charlie Ward. Kenny, did Ron make the New York Knicks?
Walt Frazier. I think he won
Frazier.
Two.
I'm going. It had to be Patrick Ewing.
Hey, Google, how many championships has Walt Frazier won?
Patrick Ewing.
Damn it.
Crushing it. No, you missed your free throw.
How? How is that? Look, Walt Frazier, 2 championships.
Were they both with the Knicks?
Yes.
It still don't matter. Patrick Ewing, 2,700 points. Walt Frazier, 1,900. 800 more points
Patrick
in the postseason.
Hasn't won anything.
Although, if you really want 135 games to 93 games, so I don't know. That's a lot more games. So Patrick's been in the postseason almost 40 more games.
He didn't win shit. What?
Larry Johnson, grandmama.
Wait, no, come on, get out of here. Oh, that's BS. All right.
75% this week. What do you got?
How the hell you gonna do that, Kenny?
75.
How are you gonna do that?
75%. What's my team?
Bull.
What's my team?
I don't even care. Sacramento Kings.
Oof. So I watched you guys, and he didn't go with Chris Webber, which blew my mind. But then you got Vlade. He went with.
I'm so upset. I swear somebody jumped and went into the lane before I even released the ball.
Mitch Richmond too. Oof.
That's BS, Kenny.
Sacramento Kings. Mitch Weber. Postseason. That team got to the Western Conference Finals, lost to the Lakers. They were up. I have to go see Webb. That's tough though, because I don't think I mean, they don't have a.
Well, he's going to give it to you anyway. It doesn't even matter. This is like the Kansas City Chiefs referees in the game.
Bro, what do you? I don't you get mad at me? Oh, well, that was Chris Webber's the lead because Oscar Robinson, Cincinnati Royals, which still sounds weird too. Yeah, Chris Webber was their leading scorer in the postseason. Peja Stojakovic was a very good player though too. But I'm going. Yeah, I went Chris Webber.
Yeah, with that timeout, that's a really good one.
Did I? That was in the NCAA tournament. You can't count that.
I don't care. It counts.
Right? The Fab Five. Kenny, did I make my free throw? He likes white chocolate though, and I mean, let me see.
Oh, he does. He said yes. He said that, so
he's not even in the top 10 in score. Although Mike Bibby too was a good player, but
he should give you a hard no.
It's a yes. It's 100%. Come on, Chris Webber, Sacramento Kings, guaranteed.
I cannot believe you didn't give me.
Nope.
Nope. Good.
There we go.
That's what you
go
get.
ahead. I want to see this garbage.
You didn't win that one.
I want to see the garbage he puts up there. Go ahead. Their best postseason player in Sacramento King history. Peja was better. Peja was not better. Peja scored 200 less points.
No, that's Paga.
Yeah, well, he's not even close. Chris Webber averaged 21.7, 9.8 boards, 4.1 assists to Peja's 17.3, 6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. Not even close.
Listen to this. Walt Frazier, known for his suave style and clutch performances, was instrumental in leading the Knicks to their 2 NBA championships in 70 and 73. 2! Clutch!
I'd still go with Patrick.
I deserve that 4th.
But anyway, Ron, you want to bring up the Hall of Fame nominees? So we're both at 75% this week.
Yeah, I should have 100.
I should too. Chris Webber was much better than Peja. Cast your votes.
Make these things a little higher next time.
Right now, for the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame, for our NBA portion of the Hall. What a great segment. Thank you, Kenny. Julie Servin, Moses Malone, Walt Frazier, George Gervin, and Bill Walton. The polls will close the end of this week. So get your votes in to help us nominate our next inductee into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame for our NBA segment. Look at those guys, some fine players. We just had, I love that. That segment is fun. It really is. Let's look who's in right now. None of the guys that we talked about today. Bill Russell, Charles Barkley, Irvin Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. One of those 5 gentlemen that we just announced will make it into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame next week. Believe it or not.
Yep.
It's been a month. Ron, we're on to some NBA. Great segue here. Let's talk about these Boston Celtics. They raised banner 18 on Tuesday. Do you think they can repeat as champions?
Yeah. I don't know if you watched the show that me and Kenny did. I think we both picked the Boston Celtics.
Both picked to win it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean,
so I
it's
guess
the thing I've been saying over and over since the Olympics happened, right? I mean, you got a guy that was snubbed and then a guy that was benched.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't find 5 minutes to play him? Really? I mean, it's just a joke. So you got 2 guys that are fired up to come into this league this season and wanting to make an impact. And when you have them both on the same team, that's double. Yeah, that's a double whammy for the rest of the league in my book.
You're right. Tatum, Brown, both motivated by this Olympic situation. We've said that. They brought back 13 players. The chemistry on that team, you think about how well they gelled last season. So you're not losing anything or trying to add pieces that now are trying to fit. You already know what you have. You already know what everybody's really good at.
It'd be an interesting number to find out who were the most, what was the most players that repeated a championship on one team. You know, I mean, because you're talking 13 players. I mean, you can't get much more than that. I mean, there's 15 on a roster?
Yeah. 15, 16, somewhere in there. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
look, the only question you're going to worry, or the only key thing you got to worry about is injuries to the two big,
and one's out
the prime time.
already.
Porzingis, though, you've seen they won without him in the postseason. He missed a
Right.
lot of games in the regular season. I
Yep.
think he's going to miss a few months now this season. I don't think he affects them as much as it's an added piece when he's healthy. Can't lose Tatum, can't lose Brown.
That they can't lose, and that's Derek White.
Derek White's been a hell of a player for Boston since that trade.
I think he's actually part of that big three.
I will say this. Brad Stevens, I think he got executive of the year. Well deserved, because that Derek White trade 2 years ago set them up. And you think about it, Derek White, when he came to Boston, we're like, who the hell is this guy? And think about it, defensively, what he's able to do. Then offensively, he chips in. It's not even like he's a good, solid offensive player. Yeah. Drew Holiday trade last year, by far one of the best moves he's made as well, because he brought in a veteran that knew how to win and kept that team going. I agree. I don't think there's any stopping them. Look, they're 2-0, and I know it's early, but they dismantled the Knicks, who I felt was the second best team in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. They add Cat. You sit back, you go, okay, Jalen Brunson, Cat, you got Bridges they added. I'm like, this team's going to be really tough for Boston. And Boston manhandled them, and then was trying to break the three-point record at the end of the game. They were just flying up threes to try to get 30 points. 33.
And they were just clanking them and air balls, and
Jalen Brown can't bring up the ball, Kenny. You're right about that. But I think they're gonna use Tatum more. Obviously, Drew Holiday, Derek White. I think sometimes they'll do the Jalen Brown thing, but I think you'll see a lot less of that as it continues to go on. It's fun time to be in Boston with this team, because you feel like this is like those 80s Celtics again, like just a dominant. You could see this for 5 years now.
I got to be honest. This is the only team that apparently we can count on here in New England.
Yeah, we will talk about the Bruins later on in the show as well. Yeah, so, but again,
a lot to say about that.
So Bannon 19, it's almost a lock. I'd be shocked. Who would you think is their biggest threat? And let's say not in the entire league. So they get to the finals. We'll say they get through the Eastern Conference. Is there a team that scares you in the entire league?
No.
Right? No. I can't even think of one. There's not a team you sit back and go.
I think the best team equipped to do it could be Denver if they stay healthy and grab another player at the deadline.
Yeah, you just haven't seen.
But that's a big if. Either. But that's a big if, right? Depends on who they grab at the deadline.
People are trying to annoy.
I'm looking at the landscape, and who are they going to get? It's going to be a guy off of a team that can't make the playoffs, so they're probably going to grab somebody from Detroit that's got an expiring contract.
But this is where, too, Boston now it has the advantage, because how many times do we see these teams late in the season pick up a guy who clearly we know should be, a top contender or on a top team, and they go to these teams because they want to win a championship. Boston's the front runner now. A lot of players are going to want to go to Boston.
Yeah, you hope.
It just makes sense, right? If you really want to win a championship, you're going to say, just send me to Boston. I'll take, you know what I mean? Whatever they're going to give me to make it work. I'd be surprised if we don't.
Can we trade Cornette for Giannis?
Don't ever trade Cornette. I love Luke. He's
good, isn't he?
I like Luke. He is good. Him. All right, Ron, let's talk some Major League Baseball. We already talked about the World Series, so let's talk the opposite end of Major League Baseball. Would you buy the Chicago White Sox, Ron?
Would I buy?
Yeah, if you had the money.
If I had the money, I would buy the Chicago White Sox, and I would make this team a championship team in 3 years. 3 years.
3 years. So Jerry Reinsdorf owns the Chicago White Sox. He's owned the team.
This is a huge market, and neither the White Sox or the Cubs can grab
Ron, I'm going to ask you.
Area.
1981. He's owned the team since 1981. You do the math real quick in your head. What's that? 40 whatever years. They've went to the
43.
postseason 7 times.
That's terrible. In
Won
that
one
division
championship.
yet.
One championship, 2006.
In that division.
I have problems. That organization is so dysfunctional at this point. I don't know whoever wants to buy him, and they're saying Dave Stewart in a group, so former MLB player, right? Knows baseball, but is interested. But how do you change a culture that's been bad for 43 years? 43.
You have to have the actions of somebody that wants to change the culture right at the top, and then it works its way down. So you need to get everybody in line with the same plan. And you can't do that when the owner doesn't really give a rat's butt.
He really doesn't care. He's 88. You think he's going to change at this point? He bought the team back in 81 for $20 million. It's valued right now at $2.05 billion. Like, talk about an investment. Let me ask you this question too, Ron.
I think that's too much for that.
This is where I say it's hard to buy the White Sox. If I say New York baseball, what's the first team you think of?
Mets.
Yeah, full of it. If I say Chicago, the first team you think of is?
I don't really think of either of them, to be honest.
The Cubs, though, have been the team of.
I get it, but
so
like I said,
you're the stepchild that nobody wants. So I don't think they're ever gonna be
me.
You're not the stepchild. The Chicago White Sox.
Chicago White Sox.
That nobody wants, though. Like, they don't care. The fans don't. If you've been bad that long and there hasn't been an uproar yet, do you think they really care what happens in with that team?
No. And this is what I'm saying. This is why I say if I had the team, I could change this team to a different culture and people would care. Because I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
Look, if there's a franchise, I don't even care what sport it is. If there's a franchise that really needs changes, hire me for your GM because I'll get it done. I'll get it done. Because
100.
You have to get people in there that can bring the right culture. You know, you got to do what you have to do. Not like what the Red Sox are doing. Breslow.
You're still 500 team with Boston. At least the Red Sox are 500. This team, the last 2 years, has lost over 100 games, and now has the major league record with 121 losses this season.
Yeah.
Like, they're getting worse. They're not getting better. You're getting worse.
Right. So Chicago, my phone number is on the Facebook page. Give me a call.
Wow.
If you want to win, call me.
Maybe then we get a sponsor.
I'll get it done.
100
and then
proof
sponsor
in
the
that
show
milk, yeah.
too.
100 proof in that milk. Yes, for sure, Kenny. For sure. All right. You think they get sold? Because he just said he's thinking about it.
Somebody will want it and try to change the direction of this team, which is anything from where it's going.
I mean,
you could change it. You can bring in a bunch of jack wagons and still have better success.
The old jack wagons. All right, so Ron would definitely buy him. I wouldn't touch this thing with a 10-foot pole. 40+ years of just misery.
I could change it.
Misery.
I'll bring it above the Cubs.
It's time. It is time for split decisions.
It's time.
Our split decision segment, basically, we give each other 2 more likely questions, and we have to make a decision. So I am first this week. I will start us off. Ron, your first split decision is, which NFL quarterback is more likely to finish the season with the most passing yards? These are the top 3 currently. Geno Smith with 1,985 yards, Baker Mayfield with 1,859 yards, or Brock Purdy with 1,841 yards.
They're all pretty close, huh? Purdy, Baker. It's not going to be Baker. He just lost his 2 receivers.
I was
so it's
thinking
not
the
gonna
same
be
thing,
Baker.
right? That's going to be a tougher one for him.
Uh,
Brock's lost his
and
receivers.
it's not Brock because he just lost. He's lost
Ayuk.
his
Yeah.
2 receivers. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be Geno.
Smith. Ugh. Geno Smith is who we thought he was. Denny Green. Rest in peace. All right. So you're going Geno. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Anybody
I
still
think
go to a
that's-
Celtic game? Do they still do the Geno at the end when they win? I'm kind of curious. I got to go to a Boston Celtics game this year. They used to do a Geno dancing at the end of the game. All right.
okay.
Your first split decision, Ron.
All right, seeming we just did basketball a few moments ago. Which team has the more likely chance to beat Boston in the NBA playoffs?
Okay.
New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers,
No.
Denver Nuggets, or the Dallas Mavericks?
Philly's out for sure, 100%. I don't even think that team's going to shoot up 5 stars at any point in this season because they're already both out, Embiid and Paul George. Denver, I agree with Kenny. Just they seem like they've lost whatever they had from a couple years ago. So I'm not going Denver. So that leaves the Knicks and the Mavs. I like the Mavs. I really do. I don't like Luka's heart. We talked about this in the past. I don't think he has that it factor. I like Jalen Brunson and his energy. I think he wants to win. Regardless, that guy wants to win. I like what they've done. I would be more fearful of the Knicks, only because of Tibbs as well with the defense. They're very good defensively, so they could possibly make it a little more challenging to score. I would go New York. I don't think anybody will, but if I had to pick, I'd say more likely would be the New York Knicks.
Okay.
And I like Dallas, but I don't know. I still don't trust Luka. All right, Ron, your second split decision. I told you we'd have a World Series kind of, which player is more likely to hit his first home run in the postseason in this World Series? Freddie Freeman or Anthony Rizzo?
Oh, Jesus, I forgot about Freddie Freeman. I'm going to go with Freddie Freeman.
You give Rizzo no love. The Riz, baby. Ralph Tresvant for those new edition fans.
I
by the way.
think Freddie Freeman is just a better ball player, and I'm going to go with Freddie Freeman.
Okay. Freddie Freeman, bum ankle. Barely can run.
I don't care.
Okay. Although I think Anthony Rizzo's got like broken fingers too, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know. He's playing. They're both playing.
Okay.
Both playing. So you're going Freeman. All right.
I'm going Freddie.
All right.
He's going to do it today.
Nightmare on my street. Yeah. Go ahead. Your second split decision.
All right, here we go. This is the one we've been waiting for all day. You are going to love this one. This is going to be an interesting conversation.
Oh boy.
When it comes to soft, who is more likely to be the softest?
I feel like this is a toilet paper
I don't think
commercial.
Ron Jeremy is going to be in one of these choices.
Yeah. Oh,
All right, so who will more likely be the softest? Gerard Mayo? The Patriots' offensive line?
Ugh.
The Patriots' defense? Jim Montgomery? Or the Boston Bruins?
Oh, you can't. Wow, you gave me a whole whopping.
A whole whopping bucket of softness.
And we're going to talk about the Bruins next. So I'm taking Montgomery out. Not the Bruins team, but I'm taking Montgomery out because I think he's trying to coach. I think the defense on New England. Listen, you got guys beating up and throwing women downstairs, and those are some of your best players.
Well, there are other things.
So they're not soft. I mean, they're just soft against, there's some tough guys there.
So if the other teams fielded all women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Julius. I always call him Julius Peppers. Peppers would have been all over that. Oof. So my choice would be Mayo or the Bruins. You know what I'm going to go with?
Not the O-line?
The O-line's not soft. I think they just stink. Those guys stink. There's no. So I don't care if you could ingest them, shoot them up with some kind of rage roid thing. They still stink. The guys couldn't hit anything. I don't think they.
Yeah, because they don't use roids in football.
No, never. So I'm going Mayo or Bruins. I'm going Mayo here. I think he's way in over his head. Way in over his head.
Did we say that already?
Before
the season started?
It's getting worse.
It's bad.
Like, he doesn't even know what he's talking about anymore. He's just saying stuff.
Everybody is coming out against him,
criticizing him. And he's getting all pissed at them. Like, you did this. You're the other one that said they were soft to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, shut your mouth. Do it in the locker rooms. You worked with Bill Belichick. Stuff like this never came out.
The point I'm going to make is, like, he worked with him. He worked for him. And when did Bill Belichick ever blame anyone but himself? It's like, I got to do a better job. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't do my job. I have to be better.
Yeah.
I can't do that and just blast them. Hey, or do it like Jim Montgomery did to Brad Marchand.
Right on the bench, buddy. Do it
right on the bench in front of everybody.
Game. Yeah. I just think that the organization's in such a disarray. Who's running what? Who's doing what? Who's me? I don't think this is all right. You want to know who's really soft? It was Robert Kraft. Because Robert Kraft couldn't accept the fact that there was somebody in New England that fans thought more of than him. And
what he needs to do is, after they get destroyed by the Jets this week, and that will happen. You know it's happening. After the loss, he needs to fire Gerard Mayo and admit that he was an idiot for ever thinking of that. And go out and hire Vrabel. That'll prove
Vrabel. I don't want Vrabel either, though.
I'd rather have him.
I think they need to go in a different direction, and that's the problem. Mike Vrabel is still a New England-based guy. Yes, he didn't coach in New England. Yes, he went everywhere else. You need to get a Ben Johnson from Detroit. You need to get somebody from the LA Rams and what they're doing.
You can't right now. So you got to go with what's out there, right?
Yeah, Vrabel doesn't
and
make
I don't want it to be Mike McCarthy, which is what's going to end up happening if he gets fired.
No, stop it.
No, you say no, but we all say yes. You say no.
I don't know who we is, but we are not saying yes. All right, Ron. Let's talk some NHL. I'll give you a minute here to just get ready. But the Boston Bruins have lost 3 straight. Is it too early to stop panicking in Boston?
It's too early to stop panicking.
I'm done.
But there is a serious problem on this team. And I didn't include them in that segment for nothing.
Panic.
Because
Start to panic.
I'm a little pissed off. Just a little bit. Okay, this is a team that minus Heinen and DeBrusk. Is that a major part of this team? No. You replace them with Lindholm, who's a good player. He's a good player.
For Boston.
And Zadora, who you're supposed to have a little toughness with Zadora. You bring in Max Jones, who's supposed to add a little toughness to this team, and they have done absolutely jack. It is appalling how I can't say the B word with the each. You know, that's what they look like, a bunch of those.
I will say, Ron, Jim Montgomery being a lame duck coach is destroying this team because he has no power. He has no say. These players do not respect him because they know that he's pretty much going to be gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. So you're seeing these players kind of revolt a little bit, not doing the things they need to do. Listen,
Yeah.
David Pasternak's your best player. He's a -3. Brad Marchand is a -4. I know it's early and everybody's going to say, but then you signed Swayman to this big deal. He's 2-3-1 with a 2.99 goals against, a 9.04 save percentage. His numbers have gone down. They're 24th overall in goaltending, Ron, in the league. They're tied with the Utah Hockey Club. We already talked how much I hate that name.
I'll give you a couple of stats. 22nd most expected goals per 60 minutes.
I've heard about it. Go ahead.
Right. So they're giving up high quality chances. So, 15th and the most high danger scoring chances. They're in the middle of the pack. The team should not be in the middle of the pack with what they got on their roster right now. They should not be. Because when you look at that defensive core, it should be better. They're bigger than everybody else. Right? They're bigger than everybody else. They should not be giving up those chances right out in front. They're getting bullied again. And it's worse now because now it's not just Florida bullying them. Now they gave everybody the blueprint on how to beat the Bruins. You just beat them. You just beat them up. And then they retaliate with these horrible penalties. You got Max Jones, who I just mentioned, comes in. He's played 30 minutes. 24 penalty minutes racked up.
Ron, I don't know if you realize they are number one in penalty minutes.
They are number one in penalty minutes.
They are number 110 penalty minutes. Dumb team.
Zadora has gone, 6-7 games in a row with a penalty? You can't keep doing you can't be shorthanded 6-7 times a night because guys like Pastrnak are going to be sitting on the bench the whole game.
And 19th in penalty kills at 77.5. So they're not even killing the penalties.
They're not even killing the penalties.
And then on a power plays, they're 25th. So they got a man advantage. They're worse.
Right.
They're 15.2%, Ron. They're in the bottom half of the not even the bottom half.
What is the problem here? There has to.
It's the attitudes, Ron. You got to sit back and say this. The Boston Bruins brass, the front office, is making a mistake by not giving Jim Montgomery a new contract. Yeah. Because all this is doing right now is these players say, listen, we can screw this. I got a contract. Jeremy Swayman's good for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand signed. David Pastrnak signed. Jim Montgomery, see you later next year. We'll get a guy that we want in here. We saw it with Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells with New England, and then they brought in Pete Carroll because that's what the players wanted, right? And you're seeing it now in Boston. When players don't want to play for somebody, they are deliberately sabotaging. I don't want to hear about, to your point, these guys, they're professionals. They've been doing this a long time. There's no excuse now. There's no excuse other than it's all attitude right now. It's not the players or the personnel. It's the attitude of this team. And it blows my mind because you go into Florida, get your behinds kicked. I almost said a different word. Right? And then they came back to Boston. You had a shot to say, hey, look, we're going to show you. And you laid down again. They don't have any toughness. They don't have, they have a piss poor attitude. And then everybody's going to blame Jim Montgomery. And I don't think it's his fault.
No, what should happen, and I got to think it's coming. Bruins are carrying a lot of extra players right now. What they need to do is make a trade. They need to shake it up. And you got to trade somebody that means something.
Swift reference. How dare you?
You got to trade somebody that
means one show without a Taylor Swift reference.
Taylor Swift?
Oh, it's Shake It Off. Isn't it Shake It Off, not Shake It Up?
Oh, Chakra's there. Hey, Chakra.
Chakra, thanks for joining. Go ahead. Shake it.
Yeah, so you got to make a trade to shake the team up. And that's what you have to do. So you got to trade somebody that's been there. Not none of these new guys.
But the problem is this, Ron. Who's your top player? Pastrnak.
Pastrnak.
Not playing well. You're not trading Pastrnak.
No.
You're going to trade Marchand?
No.
That's my point. Like the guys that are still going to be in control of that locker room are still going to influence anybody you bring in. Anybody you bring in, those are the guys.
A defenseman. You trade a defenseman.
I just don't think
You still have Lowry and Wotherspoon and Mitchell that are definitely capable of being an NHL player. You trade one of those defensemen that aren't doing the job. You make that trade and you
Ron,
trade a forward with it. You
who
get
makes
rid
the
of some
call?
bodies.
Sweeney or Neely makes that call to sign the coach?
Sweeney.
Sweeney. So Don Sweeney needs to go in today and say, listen, Jim Montgomery, 3-year extension. He's our guy. Guys, figure it out. Because otherwise you're out.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. Because
Yeah.
until they change that attitude in that locker room, those guys are not going to play for him. They don't care. They don't like the fact that he is tougher on them. A guy like Marchand doesn't want to be yelled at on the, on the bench. He wants.
No.
He's Brad Marchand. He's a
And look,
Bruins legend.
it's like, I don't know if Marchand's made a big deal of it or not, and he'll be the first one to tell you that that was a horrible play. And I remember the play. It was terrible. It resulted in a goal. And he let him have it. And Marchand knows that he's being made the example, and he's the captain. Now he needs to trickle things down, right? He needs to go in there and let the team have it. And I don't know if any of these things are happening behind the scenes. I don't know. I don't know what the facts are when it comes to how the players are feeling and what they're actually doing, but I know they're not doing their job. And I think a trade needs to happen.
I just don't know if you don't change the guys you need to change, then it's really not going to change anything.
I don't think you need to change a whole lot. But
I think
if you're going to make a trade, you can trade a defenseman because you're carrying 2 extra defensemen.
Ron, but even in normal society, if you knew your boss is getting fired or your boss is quitting, you don't really care. Like, does it matter if I do what this guy tells me? Because at the end of the day, he's gone.
And that's
and
the
I
problem.
still have
that's
my job.
Everything is starting to break down.
It's got, before you make any trade, you need to get Jim Montgomery signed into a deal and then say, look, you guys, you're going to be stuck with this guy regardless. So you either start to get back on track or, you know what, we make changes. But
yeah.
Great conversation. I knew this one.
It's ugly, and I've been noticing it. I've been watching these games, and they're really brutal to watch. They are just playing horrible.
But this is, to your point, Ron, and this is where I say a trade doesn't matter. Osborne for the Patriots. I don't even remember his first name though, because that's how much he's been a factor.
Wait, who's that?
Yeah, right. He demands a trade, wants off the team. Like, it matters. Like, nobody cares. They're not playing for Mayo. They don't respect him, right? And that's what I'm saying. You're seeing the same thing happen with the Bruins right now.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's the culture in the building, in that locker room, that is creating this. Because they have talent.
Call me. I'll get them to win.
Because I'll tell you right now, they have the talent. It's not a lack of talent.
They have the talent.
We're not sitting back going, oh, they don't have talent.
A Stanley Cup contender that we're talking about.
Who's second to last
like garbage.
Second to last in the Atlantic, right? I think they're second to last right now. All right. Ron, great conversation. Love it. Let us know if you're live. What do you think the Bruins' struggles are? Why are they struggling? But it is time for pick and roll, my friend.
It's time for pick and roll.
I like the little thing up the side. That's kind of cool. So 1981, 43 years ago, raised in Boston. This is the episode. We are going to pick the extra base hit leaders of that year for 1981. And those were Robin Yount, Mike Schmidt, Eddie Murray, Ben Ogilvy. I knew I was going to hack that one. Gorman Thomas and Reggie Jackson. We're going to rank them from 6 to 1. I am first. I will start us off. This was really should have been top 4.
Yes. 2/3 of this is fantastic and belong here.
Gorman Thomas. I mean, listen, I don't want to knock anybody that made it.
No, he's garbage.
But listen, he made it to the major leagues. Good for him. but batted 225, 1,015 hits, 268 home runs, 68 runs,
Yeah, if that's what you
and
call Major League.
782 RBIs, 50 stolen bases. Did make one All-Star. Congratulations. Move on. At 5, Ben Ogilvy.
Probably got hurt.
Ben Ogilvy, 273 batting average, 1,615 hits, 235 home runs, 784 runs, 901 RBIs, 87 stolen bases, 3 All-Stars, 1 Silver Slugger. Okay, correct. Good job. All right, this is where it got interesting because the guy I have at 4, I thought I might have had higher, but I didn't. I went at 4, Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt, 267 batting average, 2,234 hits, 548 home runs, 1,506 runs, 1,595 RBIs, 174 stolen bases, 12-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove. You're like, Eric, you're insane. 6 Silver Sluggers, 3 MVPs, a championship, and a World Series MVP. Numbers, I mean, he's done it. But I had to put this guy ahead of him because of the championships. That was Reggie Jackson. So I went Reggie Jackson at 3, at 262 batting average, 2,584 hits, 563 home runs, 1,551 runs, 1,702 RBIs, 228 stolen bases, a 14-time All-Star, 2 Silver Sluggers, an MVP, Major League Baseball Player of the Year, 5 championships, and 2 World Series MVPs. So Reggie Jackson, I mean, phenomenal. But the guys I put ahead of him both hit over 3,000 hits, which was a big factor for me, and both had much better batting average. So Robin Yount at 2 for me. 285 batting average, 3,142 hits, 251 home runs, 1,632 runs, 1,406 RBIs, 271 stolen bases, 3-time All-Star, 1 Gold Glove, 3 Silver Sluggers, a Major League Baseball Player of the Year, and 2 MVPs. So, yes, he didn't have as much. He didn't win the championship. 20-plus points better batting average, 600 more hits. It mattered to me. But at number 1, I went Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray, 287 batting average, 3,265 hits, most on the list.
He was great in that Beverly Hills Cop movie.
He was Eddie Murphy, yes. Eddie Murray, 504 home runs, 1,627 runs, 1,917 runs batted in, most on this list, 110 stolen bases, an 8-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove, 3-time Silver Slugger, a Rookie of the Year, and a 1-time champion. So I went Eddie Murray at number 1. That's my pick and roll.
Yeah, we didn't see this the same, but when you look at those 4 players, how close they were, it was totally expected.
You had Gorman Thomas at 1, didn't you?
Right?
You had Gorman
number
Thomas
6, Gorman Thomas shouldn't even be here.
Shot.
He stunk. I'm sorry, he stunk.
That's his 5 fans. They got a little upset. There's 5 fans.
No Christmas card from Gorman Thomas because he was one of the worst baseball players I've ever seen. Number 5, I have Ben Ogilvy.
Yes, you messed that up too.
I didn't mess it up.
Okay, go ahead, buddy.
Ben Ogilvy, I mean, he was an okay player. Had a couple of good years, 3 of them really. All 3 of those were the All-Stars, and an average player to me. Number 4, I put Robin Yount there, and I'll tell you, from the 1, 2, 3, and 4, if you had them on your roster together, you would win championships. Because that's what, these 4 players, and they all played different positions, so you could put them on there, and it would be a great baseball team. But Robin Yount, he is number 4 because he did not win that World Series, because it was so close. I had to come down to eliminating him from the top 3 because of not having it. But he's a great player. Like you said, 3,000 hits. That is a benchmark for a Hall of Famer. He just didn't, and he produced runs, RBIs and runs without hitting many home runs, 251 in his career, and he still produced the runs. So he did his job and then some. But I had to go with Eddie Murray, number 3. It was a tough decision because I loved Eddie Murray as a baseball player, and 500 and what is that? 534 home runs.
504.
Carried my own writing.
504.
1,600 runs, 1,900 RBI, great batting average, 3 Gold Gloves, 3 Silver Sluggers, 1 World Series, 8 All-Stars, Hall of Fame. I just couldn't put him ahead of the other 2, and it was a hard decision for me because I really like Eddie Murray as a player. 1B, I have Reggie Jackson. 563 home runs, 1,700 RBI, 1,500 runs scored, a 262 batting average for a guy that is just a slugger, right? And that was what you wanted out of a slugger. It was 260 average, 260 to 269, 70 to get long balls, right? That's great. Hall of Famer, of course, 14-time All-Star, and that's why he's ahead of Eddie Murray. 2 Silver Sluggers, 5 World Series. And it was very difficult to put him not in that 1A spot, but I couldn't decide really who was who. And the 2 World Series MVPs. So 5 World Series, I was going to put him at number 1, but Mike Schmidt had 10 Gold Gloves at third base. And that made a big difference with the Silver Sluggers and the 3 MVPs. That put him up there as well. So I couldn't make my decision. So I went with Mike Schmidt with the numbers he had, even though his batting average was a little lower than Eddie Murray's.
20 points.
The MVPs mattered. 3 for Mike Schmidt, 0 for Eddie Murray. 3 for Mike Schmidt, 1 for Reggie Jackson. And the defense on top of that made me put Mike Schmidt at 1A.
Yeah, I definitely disagree with you on that one. But
yeah, and you'd be hard. Think about this.
I'm just saying, Eddie Murray
had 2 players.
Okay, but
that was it.
Okay, but hold on. Eddie Murray, 20 points better batting average, 1,000 more hits than Schmidt, 44 less home runs, 100 more runs, 400 more RBIs. Like, his numbers are so far better.
They are good, but he didn't win any MVPs, Eric.
Yeah, but maybe it's because Schmidt was getting them.
He was a first baseman. Mike Schmidt's a third baseman. That is a big difference. I'm sorry. You can throw any big guy at first base. You can't always play third base. You can't do it. Third base is not an easy position to play. And Mike Schmidt was one of the best all times at third base. 10 Gold Gloves. That says a lot to me.
Okay. All right. Before we get into our prediction segment, Ron, do you want to bring up the
tennis?
Yes.
You forgot, didn't you?
Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page on Facebook. Cast your vote right now. This is the final week to elect.
You can't be serious.
To elect one of these 5 athletes into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame: Bjorn Borg, Stefan Edberg, Boris Becker, John McEnroe, and Yvonne Lendl. The polls will close the end of this week, so make sure you get your votes in to help us elect our next inductee into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Tennis. What do we call it? Tennis bracket? Tennis hall? Tennis? I don't know.
What are you talking about?
You know how they have, what do they call them when they have different rooms for every, so we have different brackets, different
rooms
in the Hall of Fame. They call it something else. I'm drawing a blank here. They don't call it rooms. Different
don't know.
wings, isn't it? Wings like this
Yes,
wing
there
is
you go. The tennis
right.
wing of the
Yeah,
Hall of
the
Fame.
tennis
Yes.
wing of the Hall of Fame. There we go.
Have you ever
All right,
been to the Tennis Hall of Fame?
not the tennis one, no. Been to the
It's in
Major League.
Newport.
I've been to Major League Baseball. I've been to NFL and NBA.
I haven't been to any of them but the tennis one.
Yeah, been to the three. I
I
haven't been
did
to the
tennis by
hockey.
accident because I went to a tennis match there, and I didn't know it was at
Oh,
the
see
Hall of
that?
Fame.
Look at that. Can he see wings? Or is he eating wings? That's the question. All right. It is time for predictions, Ron.
Should have asked Paul McCartney.
Huh.
He's an expert on wings.
Oh, boy. All right. So, predictions from last week. Another stellar week for this guy. Yeah, 6-3. 57% win percentage. Just tearing it up. Ron, 5-4. You did get Chris Bell. I think he finished second. So close. In last week's race, Kenny, as we expected, 3-6, and Bryce came in at 5-4. Got a little bit of a cushion there for.
Wait, that's 3 in a row for me, you know.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much nailed at least one guy consistently for weeks now. For weeks, but we are starting off, Ron. Again, if you are live, you pick a game. We'll get you on the list as well.
Let's go, people. There's a bunch of you out there. Let's
World
go.
Series, my friend. Game 1, just the game 1. New York Yankees at the Los Angeles Dodgers. Game in about less than about a half hour from now. Like the pitching matchup for the Yankees, I went New York here for game 1.
Yeah, I did as well, Eric. I mean, I'm gonna go with Cole. So it would make sense that the Yankees steal one in LA.
And that's ironically what you're going to get in your stocking with all the Christmas cards you lost. So
Steal?
Cole.
Oh.
All the Christmas cards.
And
we got the Doggers. We got the Doggers are in for Kenny. The Doggers.
The Doggers.
Well, that's could it be the Dodgers? All right, Ron. NBA action tomorrow. You got the Dallas Mavericks at the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dallas on this one. I don't know. I just think it's too early for Phoenix to be awake.
Yeah, and I don't trust Phoenix. Listen, they went to overtime in their first game, and I still don't think they figured it out because those guys never really got to play together. So I went Mavs. Kenny went Mavs as well. All right. On the 28th, Ron, we've got the Milwaukee Bucks at the Boston Celtics. Until somebody does it, I'm going Boston right now, man. I just think they're on fire, and this is a statement game for them.
Yeah, no, I don't see them letting up in this one. You know, look, they're going to be there. It's going to be at home. This might be a game they try for that record, assuming it's Milwaukee that holds it, you know, with them now.
All right. So Kenny went with Boston as well. All right. NFL action. The Buffalo Bills at the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday.
Seahawks?
Seahawks. Hurt?
Oh, I'm going Buffalo all the way in this one. I think it's not even going to be close. I think Buffalo's going to drop
James
like 35 points on them.
James jumped in. Celtics. Chakra went Celtics. No, Hawks. He went Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks. He's from Seattle.
Yeah. Chakra went Seahawks. I went Buffalo. Kenny went Seahawks. James jumped in with the Celtics.
Do you want to repeat did he get? You can repeat the other games that you didn't see.
James went Seahawks as well. Yeah, Chakra, if you guys, Yankees at Dodgers, game 1 tonight.
And then Dallas at Phoenix Suns for the NBA. And Milwaukee at Boston.
We'll go. Let's see if they jump. NFL as well, Ron. You got a big one here. on Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers. Chakra went.
Chakra has Yankees, Suns, and Boston.
Okay. All right. Let's do
So
Cowboys.
Dallas at San Francisco?
Cowboys at San Fran.
Yeah, it's you.
I went, believe it or not, I went Dallas here. I just think that they're healthier. I feel like they've got a better shot. I went Dallas.
Yeah, I'm going Dallas as well.
Kenny
I don't
went
like what I
49.
saw out of San Francisco. I know they're playing Dallas, and that always means something. But if you don't have your two receivers there, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical.
James went Cowboys.
Kenny went San Fran.
Chakra, I don't. Cowboys at 49ers. Niners. Okay, Chakra. Oh, tomorrow, sorry. Winnipeg Jets at the Calgary Flames, NHL action.
Yeah, I'm going Winnipeg on this one. I think they're both playing really well.
Winnipeg, the only
but I
team
have
left
more
undefeated,
faith.
right?
I have more faith in Winnipeg, believe it or not. So
Yeah, I think Winnipeg's the only team undefeated still. I think
Are
they're
they
7-0.
really?
I think 7-0. Yeah, I went
They're
Winnipeg
really
as well.
good?
Yeah, I went Winnipeg as well. Went the Jets. How many times are you going to hear that? Do not. No.
Come
No.
on!
Chakra.
I gotta!
Chakra went with Kenny went with the Flames. I'm a little scared what you would say, so don't say it. Oh boy. Winnipeg Jets at the Calgary Flames. James, do you have anyone?
Wouldn't you rather be the pegger?
See, I knew it. I knew he was going to go there.
I couldn't help it.
Calgary. Okay, James. All right. Also, Ron, NHL action. You got the New York Rangers at the Washington Capitals. Believe it or not, Rangers in first, but third place. Capitals playing very well at home. I think they've won 5 straight. I'm going Washington. They're hot right now.
Yeah, you can go Washington. I'm going to take the Rangers in this. I think the Rangers are just a better team, and I think they take care of business.
That's on the 29th, by the way. Caps, Kenny. Say like one syllable, not two. Say like one syllable, not two.
Let's go, everybody. Get your picks out there.
New York Rangers at the Washington Capitals. Capitals, is that way? Say it like one syllable, not two. Caps. I think I figured that one out, Chakra. That was pretty good. I meant for Peggy's. He's bringing it back again. Chakra, we were doing good. Doing good. James,
Hey.
you got to pick New York Rangers at the Washington Capitals. We're going to move on.
I'm sure a lot of those folks like watching hockey too.
On 10/26 tomorrow, got number 8 LSU Tigers at the number 14 Texas A&M Aggies. Ron, who do you have?
I'm going to go with LSU in this one.
I went LSU as well. Both. Should be a very good game.
It should be.
Very good game. They're both in the top offensive and defensive teams in the league.
I'll try to pay attention to it as I'm playing the new Black Ops.
Yeah, already started mine as well. Yes,
I have to.
Played it today. Yeah.
I should say that I waited for midnight and I said, I'll play it for an hour. And then it was 4:30.
Yay, that's what happens, man. LSU. Yeah, I have to do some streaming tonight. Throw that bad boy up there. All right. What was the last? LSU. So number 8, LSU Tigers. It's college football. At number 14, Texas A&M Aggies.
Just do math. Just do
Number 8 versus number 14, but Aggies at home.
Yep.
Tigers. All right. All right, last one. We've got
the favorites right here. This is what we do.
This is what separates the boys from the men. Straight Talk Wireless. 400. That's in Homestead, Florida. We need a top 5 driver. Ron, I'm going Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick here. Actually, Kenny's pick last week actually is a real person. They finished in the top like 15 or something. Whatever it was.
Hey,
Chuck Berry.
Kenny?
Chuck Berry or whoever that guy was.
Yeah, it was a Berry, but it was his cousin.
Yeah, it was his cousin.
See, here's where I have a dilemma, right? So William Byron right now is in that final playoff spot that the top 4 will advance, right? He's in that number 4 spot. In the 5 spot, 27 points behind, is Denny Hamlin. Here's the dilemma with that. Will Byron choke, or will Hamlin just rise to the occasion and take it from him, right? So I'm going, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go Byron.
Okay, William Byron.
I'm going to say he holds on to that spot and advances. So he's going to win it.
All right. That's our prediction segment. I want to thank Kenny, Chakra, James for joining in as well. You guys have been really cool and appreciate all the support.
And all the people up there.
All the people that are watching us live, we want to thank you. We want to talk to you about some of the things that we're looking for here at Sports Unfolded. Obviously, want to thank Jeff Burton. Okay.
Is that Kenny's?
Yeah.
He's still racing?
I don't know. I just write them down. But we are currently having polls open in our Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. For the NBA, we have Julius Erving, Moses Malone, Walt Frazier, George Gervin, and Bill Walton. And for tennis, we have Bjorn Borg, Ivan Lendl, John McEnroe, Boris Becker, and Stefan Edberg. So polls are open. Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page on Facebook. Check them out. Vote. Cast your vote. Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame is voted on by fans. So guys like Pete Rose are in because the fans asked for it. So you can check that out. If you like Sports Unfolded merchandise, you can jump on Patreon at RI Broadcasting and get some Sports Unfolded pens, mugs, mouse pads, a lot of different merchandise there, stickers. So help continue to support Sports Unfolded that way. Ron, can you tell people how they can become a sponsor, get their name on the banner right above my head?
I sure can. All you have to do is send us an email to this right here, ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information. But Eric, like I say all the time, it costs less than going to your local coffee shop and getting that stupid pumpkin latte.
I had one today.
And also that pumpkin muffin that you pumpkin lovers like so much.
I love it.
I do not. But it costs less than buying those two things. Right. So sponsor the show, sponsor a segment, whatever it may be. Get in touch with us before it gets too big. Yeah. You know, we're almost at that threshold where it goes up a notch.
Yeah, listen, great opportunity. Thousands of ears on your business. Again, WDJY, Dallas, Georgia, 99.1 every Saturday between 1 and 3. SEC-TV, Public Access Channel 12, so Southeast Connecticut. You'd have that market as well. That is on at Tuesdays at 10 p.m. We're on all audio platforms. We are on all video platforms. So you're going to be heard. Your business is going to be seen, heard. So great opportunities for you to continue to grow. I'll subscribe next month. We always appreciate you, Chakra. You've been amazing. Again, Saturdays, 9 a.m., the best morning show on the internet going on daily. Check them out. Kenny and Ron do a phenomenal job at that as well. Again, check us on all our social media platforms. You can like, share, follow all of our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, we are on everything. So really good opportunity to
Eric, I did go on Chakra's stream the other day, and I did in fact get I did subscribe, but I subscribed for some people that were watching, so I gave it to them. Because if there's going to be somebody that's going to be out there all the time watching them, I'm going to let them enjoy it more, because I just don't have a lot of time. But every once in a while, I'll go into Chakra's stream and just chat and watch him play whatever game he's playing. He does so many different games. It's unbelievable.
It's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah, and we appreciate the support. So, Ron, how we end our show, we always do our final thoughts, and our final thoughts don't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. It could be about anything going on in the world today. I am first. I do have two. I'll do one and then give you an opportunity before I mention my second one. But I did want to congratulate. I do get I get a little beat up sometimes on some of the sites I send. They think we do a little bit of too much on the WNBA. But I first of all, I want to congratulate the New York Liberty on winning their first championship. I watched that finals game. What a great game that was.
It was.
I mean, holy cow. I was like, this is some really good basketball. That's why we talk about it, because it's so much fun and enjoyable to watch. I do have a problem, though, that I guess they are currently talking about striking after next season. And you think about the money that they're making, figure a way to get this thing done, because it's going to be a shame if this league does that, because I think it's got so much momentum in front of it right now.
It'll set them back.
Right. And I don't want to see that happen, because I really think they're going on a path where, again, more games, the finals are going to 7 games. Like, there's going to be a lot going on with the WNBA.
Yeah, because now you have the girl in Connecticut that is going to be the next one coming.
Yeah, Paige Becker will be the next big star. Yep. So there's a lot of good stuff going on with the WNBA. So, but congratulations, New York Liberty, on your first championship. 28 years. They've been one of those early teams and finally got one. So great job to them. And I think the parade was today, so kind of cool as well. But that was my final thought, barring another. Your final thought, Ron.
Yeah, well, I was going to do Liberty, but that's okay.
Oh, goodness.
Look,
I can't win with you.
I somewhat have a backup because I know I talked about this on the Going On Daily show. Mike Jeffries, whatever his name is, from Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yes.
Yet another one that comes out that is arrested for all these horrible, horrible things that he's done, allegedly. But with the smoke, we have learned there is plenty of fire to go around. And now we have both Diddy and this scumbag as well, basically doing the same damn things to people that are just victims. And a lot of the people that they suck into this life, it's really horrendous. But I gotta think there's going to be a lot more that fall in the coming months, right? And it's horrible, but it's something that needs to happen. And I hope they get every single one of them, lock them away, and then whatever happens to them, happens to them. I don't care. So I just hope once it's all said and done that nobody that that I've liked, throughout time as entertainers. Hopefully, none of that comes out as somebody that I know and
Yeah.
liked.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. To your point, there's probably way more out there, and I'm sure we'll see it at some point. But proud that these individuals are speaking up and speaking against
Yeah,
this
you
kind of
you would
thing.
hope that more speak up. Even though they're in the public eye, like really. I think the key one, I think, might be Justin Bieber. I would really like him to open up and say everything. And I mean, he can afford security, so
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see. So my final thought. I didn't want to take it in case you had it.
just in case, yeah, you
Just in
have a
case.
habit of doing that.
Fernando Valenzuela passed away. The great Dodger pitcher. 81, I believe. No, he was, I think, even younger than that. But they're wearing special patches in the World Series for him. I remembered him, so leave that man alone. But it'll be interesting to see that as well, because that might spark a little bit for the Dodgers as well to win one for him. So Fernando Valenzuela, rest in peace. That has been our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody that joined us live. Kenny, Chakra, James, you guys have been amazing. If you're going to watch us afterwards, like, share, and follow our show. Again, follow us on all our social media platforms, and check out the best morning show on the internet tomorrow at 9 a.m. going on daily on Rhode Island Broadcasting. And all we ever ask for every single show, Ron, is that we get peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.